Welcome back to the incredible Rockets Propaganda Channel. This is the Shootin' the Ish podcast. I got a special guest in the house today. My man, F-Tank 58, Big Frank from the Chop Shop. What's good with you, bro?
What up, bro? Appreciate you having me on, man. Long overdue. Glad to be on.
Long overdue, man. We're going to tell them like we always say, man, don't be ahead of your whole life. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below, even if you're insulting one of us, but we're going to clap back because that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to go ahead
they already know about me, bro. They already know. I will argue with you in the comments.
Big facts. Also, be sure to check out the previous episode of the Shootin' the Ish podcast. I had Bruce Williams on. Check that one out. That was a cold little episode too. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get it started, man. Big Frank, what's going on with the Chop Shop, man? What's new over there? You know, what you expecting? What kind of videos you got in the chamber? You know, talking about the team, man.
Yeah, it's been a pretty long off season. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of nice having an off season where we don't have to worry about anything. Usually it's some crisis going on in the Rockets kingdom, but it's been quiet. It's been boring. It's been just chill. So for me, I'm just taking the time to enjoy because we was talking offline. You know, when the season starts for content creators, like it's like them games come out. There's always something going on. You're trying to make those videos back to back to get the fans straight. And so I've just been chilling, and we got media day coming next week, and then from then on the season kickoff. So yeah, we just getting geared up for the season. That's all. But I've been enjoying my time off, man. I'm sure the players have too. But yeah, I'm ready to get in, man.
Already, man. I think it's actually a good thing that for a young team you got a boring off season. That means these boys was quiet. They was in the gym getting their work in, and I want to see what the finished product look like come the season start. So. Yeah, man. Media day start Monday. We got questions that we want answered from players, front office people, coaching staff for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot you a question. It's gonna be for email. If you heard email, you don't get asked this question. Go ahead and respond however you want to respond. So if I'm at media today, I'm asking, hey, email. What are you expecting to come out of training camp? What kind of changes are you trying to implement actually coming out of training camp?
I mean, that's going to be a great question for Ime because you got to remember his first training camp here, he getting a new team, new players, a lot of young players. Then the vets we did have, a lot of them were new to his system, new to Houston. So we started off kind of not really understanding who's who on the team. Is it going to be, Jalen and Şengün is going to be leading the team? What is Fred and Dylan's role and some of the other vets we had? With the second year players coming in, what role they're going to play? With the rookies coming in, what role? So as a coach, that kind of gives you, you don't get the best view of what you think your system is because you want to take things slow because there's so many moving parts. So I expect for Ime Udoka this coming year that they got to hit the ground running. If they want to make the playoffs, in a loaded Western Conference, and it's there's a lot of teams. More teams this year are more likely not to be in that tanking kind of not by choice. Anyways, teams are going to be bad regardless, but more teams are going to be more trying to be competitive. So you cannot take any nights off, man. We can't have the first game in Orlando where the first half they don't know who wants to shoot the ball or not, and then you see Fred and them have to come in and be like, okay, I'm gonna try to backpack the team even though we lost. So I think hierarchy, understanding what your roles are on the team, understanding what your function, what your job is from day one. I think that's something that as a coach, if I'm a coach, I need to get that established in camp. So when we get into season, we just hooping. So that's what I think.
No excuses on that one. No excuses.
So
I want to kind of add to that a little bit, man. So we got to remember something. This is going to be Ime's first time coaching the same team back-to-back years.
Ooh, big facts.
So we don't know what his adjustment from season to season is actually going to look like. That's why I want to ask that question because we've never seen it before. This is his first time doing it himself. So, and then on top of that, younger team than he would have had in Boston. However, they are on a very nice trajectory, I think. And given how we ended the season last year, even with all the injuries, I think things are looking up. But I want to see what would he do from a coaching perspective to add more layers to this team, both on offense and defense. What's he going to run differently? Is he going to exclusively run certain defensive coverages with certain guys on the floor? Is he going to challenge somebody like Alperen Sengun to probably play a little bit different defensively as much as he improved on that last year? Is he going to challenge somebody like maybe Jalen Green to initiate the offense more often, run some point actually, like things like that? I'm looking forward to see how creative he's going to be, because I ain't gonna lie, like last year, it was times when that boy was running that broccoli offense, that naked pick and roll, where it's just, for real, just naked pick and roll, just Fred, Sengun, everybody else just standing around, and that's why it was so easy to stop, because there was no layers to it. There was no back screens happening on the other side. There was nobody. There was no cutting. There was nothing. It was just pick and roll. The James Harden, Mike D'Antoni kind of thing. Even though we don't have a no rim running big man at all. Well, we kind of got one now, if you want to count. I don't know if Steven Adams still gonna got it.
Nah, he's not a rim runner.
Yeah, not.
Hell no.
Probably not. Not with them.
Let me ask you this. For Ime, what do you think that the reason? Do you give him that? Remember when Steven Silas has said that the reason he didn't like add because the guys weren't ready for it. Do you think that Ime was facing some of those constraints that maybe if he got too complex with it that they wouldn't grasp on, so he started off kind of at a base? Or do you think he's just, because I ain't gonna lie, I know some people think it's an easy answer, but I go back and forth, bro. I don't know. That broccoli, like you were saying, that broccoli, I ain't really seen too much in Boston to tell me otherwise, but what do you think about it?
I'm gonna say this, man. I do understand starting off with a young team and trying to keep things simple for them, but how long can you do that? Silas did that for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem that I had. Like, bro, we seen this in year 1. Why are we still seeing this in year 3? Like, what is this? I've seen this before. The NBA has seen it before. That's why you're so easy to stop. Sure, you may not still have no shooters or nothing, but you haven't gotten creative at all. You got your mindset on a certain way that you want to play, and you don't have any way of thinking outside of that. So, and the NBA knows that. And you know one thing about these scouting reports, if you don't update that scouting report, it's curtains. It really is. So for Ime, I wouldn't do that whole that broccoli nonsense starting off the season. Like from, I want to say, what was it, like post All-Star, when he started to, let's say we got a defensive rebound, they was looking for Jalen at first to see if we can get something quick on the break, and then when we got in the half court, if we can get nothing on the break, all right, we're gonna set up the offense. More of that. At first, at the beginning of last season, it was just Fred and Sengun pick and roll. That's it. Broccoli and a little bit of Parmesan here and there sometimes.
even on the fast breaks, because Fred used to literally stop on fast breaks to get the half court set up. So, I'm not ragging on Ime. I think Ime did a wonderful job, but
yeah,
I do have expectations for him as a coach. Like we ain't trying to win no development award. We're trying to win chips at some point, bro. So we got to put the foot on the gas. And I agree with you, bro. I love what they did in the second half of the season, running in transition. Every board, every miss from the other team is a fast break. Get Jalen into offense fast so he can use his tools. Because when the defense isn't set, he's getting mismatches. He's aligned. The wrong defenders on him. The team is all over the place. He can attack the paint before people get loaded up. And then, like you said, if they do defend it pretty well, get into your half-court set. Let two-man with him and Sengun and cutters off of that, and then it makes you a little more dynamic. I'm just curious to see what they do with that. But, yeah, I got my eye on Ime this year for the offense, bro, because I think that was something that, even though they were young, I think he could have still done better.
Yeah. The defense, too, I want to say, because NBA kind of figured out the defense a little bit towards the end of the season. They figured that out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Back cut, because these young dudes refuse to turn their head, bro. They just don't want to look.
And old dudes. Don't forget Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, I ain't going to lie.
Yeah, DB getting cut on, but I think the defense was impressive. Like, from where we were with Steven Silas.
It was unreal, because we was like bottom fourth in the league in defense last season. And then to go to a top 10 defense when three of your starters are on the rookie contracts, two of them are considered defensive liabilities. That don't make sense, especially the center. If your center is considered a defensive liability, you shouldn't be in the top 10 of defense.
Yeah.
But we made it work. Alperen, stepped his game up big time. I think where his real value on defense is grabbing defensive boards, because the season before, man, we was getting killed on the glass, bro. We was getting killed on the glass. It was so frustrating. And then even times when we lost a lot this year, I forgot what the record was. I looked it up and I forgot what the record was, but we lost a lot of games when we got killed on the board. Like when we won the rebound battle, our record was like, it was crazy. It was a really good record. Obviously, you can say that for anybody, but I think it's very important for a team like ours who doesn't really necessarily have a whole lot of size.
Yeah.
Got to get on that glass, man. Especially you want to run. You're a young team. You want to get on the glass. You got to rebound.
That's what it is. That running. Get out and run. If you get stops, you get fast breaks, you get to maximize your athleticism. And I agree with you. I actually think Şengün could be a much better defender than he is. I think he doesn't use his full strength and body size, even though he's not the tallest. He could play a little dirty on the inside. He get a little lazy in there, but defensively, I think, like you said, I mean, he stepped his game up. I expect more growth from there. Want to see him work on the island a little bit more. And a lot of people think that defensively you have to be like this dominant athlete to be good. And Ime said this himself. It's really all about IQ and effort. Mm-hmm. We saw Pau Gasol, even though he's a bigger player, win Defensive Player of the Year. If you watch how he played,
Marc Gasol,
it was all about body position and footwork, hand placement. This is the little stuff to like disrupt the other team. And I think Şengün, he's not gonna be no Defensive Player of the Year, but just as far as
his, man, I ain't putting no ceiling on him. It probably ain't gonna happen. But
as far as just IQ and that, like just being smart and knowing where to be with your big body, that goes a long way on the NBA defense. Just how to
playing to your strengths on defense too. That ain't just the offensive thing. Playing to your strengths on defense. He got good hands. Use them damn things.
Use them. Use your cut guys
for a center, man. He really does. He be picking up steals.
Use that IQ to anticipate where the offensive player is going to go based on the read that you would do as an offensive player. You know what I mean? You got to just use the tools. Like you said, use your skills to your advantage. And I think that comes, I can definitely see him taking a leap. And for Jalen, Jalen on isolation has been a good defender. Mm-hmm. His issues is everywhere else. Like if you put him one-on-one, he can really, most guards, he can guard him because he's so athletic and quick. It's the screen navigation. It's the getting cut on. It's rotating, all the little stuff that comes with more experience and IQ and awareness that you hope as he gets more years in the NBA, he can use his athleticism for that purpose as well, because there's no reason why he shouldn't be one of the best on-ball guard defenders in the league, because, I mean, he has all the tools to do it.
I thought his screen navigation got better throughout the season.
Just like Şengün, it's relative. Yeah, but it did.
Yeah, I thought it got a lot better. You can tell, it came to a certain point in the season where you could tell, you know, they got that Ime in them at a certain point. When they started fighting people all the time, when they brought their dog out, it was like, oh, yeah, it's starting to click with them. It was going to take a little bit, but it was starting to click at some point. So we saw what that looked like. I just hope that wasn't no damn tease. I'm pissed.
Nah, I don't think Udoka allow that, man. I think he's
I don't think he'll allow. Hell, I don't think Fred or Dylan will allow that. Steven Adams, I don't think they're gonna allow that either, because now, bruh, everybody got somebody to look at over their shoulder. Like, say, man, if you screwing up, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna take your minutes, and next thing you know, I'm gonna take your starting spot. So they go for everybody in the starting lineup. Maybe not for Şengün. But everybody else.
Why? Remember he got benched last year.
Yeah, he got benched, but I'm talking about taking your job from the start.
I don't think nobody, unless he gets hurt.
I don't know about all that.
I don't think we have the body type for anybody to take anybody's well, I would say Dylan, his job could be taken. I don't think nobody gonna take Fred's job. I don't think Jalen's up to him, but I don't know if Cam's awareness is up to.
Man, I want to talk to you about Cam, by the way, bro.
What's up?
Bruh. Man, I like his potential. I like everything that he does for the most part, but man, that IQ, boy, that IQ is really kind of, it's lowered what I used to see in him a little bit, because I'm expecting from last Summer League to this Summer League, I'm expecting him to be more dominant. He was just Summer League MVP, and now you got arguably a better Summer League team this year. I'm expecting, more leadership. I'm expecting. Well, he passed the ball a little bit more.
He did. No, he did. Give him that.
He passed the ball a little bit more. But as far as like understanding situational basketball, like the dude he got that Westbrook in him where if you talk trash to him, he's gonna take it personal and he's gonna blow up the offense on the next possession and he's gonna shoot the ball for the next 3 possessions until he make a shot. That 1 for 15 game in the summer league, I was like, boy, you cannot be doing that. You can't be doing that next season.
Let me defend Cam a little bit. So Cam, he's young, so I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, I think what you're describing is, to me, I have a philosophy on this. I think it's innate. I don't think you learn how to see the game. You can learn how to see the game, but the guys that really, to a certain point. Yeah, exactly. With experience, you play just like any job. You know, even if you don't know a job, if you work there 5-6 years, you're gonna learn the job. But there are some people that see the game different, and they was born with that. It's just like quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Some quarterbacks, they just can read the field. That's just innate. And some guys, you gotta scheme them to be successful. I don't know if Cam has that innate ability. I think he can learn, but like physically, he has all the tools to be a dominant scorer in the league. To me, his potential is going to be based on the stuff you're describing, like contextual stuff. Do you know when to pass the ball? Do you know how to read the defense enough to leverage your scoring ability to set up your teammates consistently and make the right, like the robot, what I call like LeBron. LeBron's a robot because people give him grief for like making plays where they want him to just like shoot it or whatever. But he's such a computer with the way he sees basketball that whatever, like the way it's supposed, the manual is written on, if somebody traps you, kick it out. If they do this, do that. Like it takes.
And knowing where your teammates are supposed to be.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother level. That's that
can you be a robot and make Harden was like that too? Can you be a robot that no matter what, like even if they trap on James Harden, Clint Capella will have 20 lobs in one game and James will not blink.
We've seen it.
So, but that's hard to do. Even Jalen got to work on that a little bit. Like, can you make the right play when it needs to be made? And then, you know, when it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes left in the game, we need Superman. That's when you let that God-given talent shine. But Cam has a long way to go on that. I don't know if he's going to challenge. He's the one that's going to challenge Jalen. If there's anybody's going to challenge Jalen on the team for real, he ain't on the team yet. So I don't think, unless they bring somebody in midway through the season that's like a scoring guard, it's really Jalen's spots to lose for him right now. Like if he crashed out this season, then that's on him, bro. But right now, I think the Rockets have set him up to be the guy, and he just got to grab the bull by the horns and go for it.
Yeah, if you went to one of the assistant coaches on media day and asked, "Hey, what are you expecting out of Jalen Green this coming season? What you expecting him to say?" How would you even respond to that?
Man, this is, you heard me say this, bro. The most important offseason of Jalen's life just happened. This year coming up is really going to be
being a father, not included. We're going.
Well, in his life, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things in his life. But you know, I don't get into all that. But like as far as like basketball, like this season is going to be an inflection point in his career, bro. Because honestly, I think fair or unfair, this is going to determine whether his arc is star, superstar, big name in the league, or just a role player, a player that says number 2, 3, or 4 in the NBA. And that's how the league is set up, man, especially when you got to get paid. So for Jalen, this is going to be tough because we're talking about making the right plays and doing all this stuff. He has to balance knowing that is at the back of his mind, that he's trying to get his money. He's trying to get a big contract with playing winning basketball and making the right plays. And think about this, bro. What if Jalen having a bad night, bro? How do you react? That bugaboo, that contract you're getting back in your head, bro. So for him and Şengün, this is gonna be a really psychologically, it's gonna be tough because they young, bro.
Yeah,
like how you tell a young guy, don't do too much, but you trying to get paid. So
you're
that's
trying to get that bag, man. Trying to secure your future.
What you think about that? Same question for you.
What I expect from what I'm expecting, this is what I say. I'm expecting a continuation of March henceforth. And I'm going to tell you specifically towards the end of that run. Because when he started getting trapped, you notice he learned to use his teammates better. So when he was on the court, he wasn't a net negative anymore. Before then, he was, every game you look at the box score, the plus minus, I hate the plus minus because there's so much other context that go into it. But over time, over a stretch, you can kind of draw some certain conclusions. I think he went maybe I think it was like 16 games in a row being a positive, or at least not being a negative in the plus minus. I think it was something along those lines. That is huge for him, and I need that to continue. It's not, to me, it's not necessarily about any specific numbers. It's not about efficiency necessarily, although I want that to go up, obviously. Obviously, if his numbers are good, we're probably going to be winning more games. Yeah. By the way, I put out a tweet, I think it was like a couple weeks ago. Rockets are 23-13 when Jalen Green scored 20 or more, by the way. Yeah. 64 win percentage, 64%. Yeah, win percentage. Yeah. So I need more of that activity. I need him to understand more of what to do when he doesn't have a rock in his hands. You know what I'm saying? Understand how to get yourself open and get a teammate open. I talked about this with Rushan last week too. Understand when you're on defense, if you're not on the ball, you got to know the scouting report. You got to understand, all right, this guy that I'm holding, when this set, I understand that he likes to do this. I need to blow that up and make them go to another option. He needs to understand, because Jalen's problem, I think, is engagement, mental engagement. When he went on that run last year, it started on the defensive end when he was picking up dudes full court. That's when he got engaged on one end and it carried over to the other end. So that's what I need. It's all mental with him. So if that's gonna carry over to the next season, we in good shape, especially if we're gonna win at a 64% pace. So I'm good with that. That's what I'm expecting. Like nothing less. It's not numbers. It's not a numbers thing. It's an impact thing.
Yeah, I think that with the stat you brought up about him scoring, and people got to understand, Jalen is like, everybody has a function. His role on our team was to be our primary scorer, and the nights where he didn't fulfill his role, other people were stressed to do that, and that forced them to have to play out of character. And to me, that's not when we are at our optimum. That's why I think something that hasn't been seen coming up that hopefully we get to see this year is trust him enough to really, if I want to say on-ball reps as far as in the starters, it was probably 70% Fred to 30% Jalen. Rightfully so. I think they tried with Jalen early on in the season. He showed he wasn't ready, probably trying to grasp the system, new role, et cetera, et cetera. So they went away and just kind of got crazy with the Fred and Şengün thing. I want to see that number, not 70-30, because I still like some of the stuff Fred does on ball, but I want to see about 60-40 Jalen Fred running that show. And because Fred has no rim pressure, his best thing coming off the screen is shooting, but that's so limited when Şengün is not a typical lob threat, and Fred is not a lob thrower. So the defense really just either a Fred shot or a hard Şengün ISO. And even when Şengün roll, he roll into three bodies, guys loaded up ready to, stunt. Some guys, coming down to help, and then his primary defender. So with Jalen, that's a harder coverage for defenses to guard, because if you sell out to stop, man, when Jalen hit that corner on the defender, that's a layup. And then hopefully we get to the point where those are corner kickouts for open threes for teammates. Like I always tell him, man, we right there. It's like if he is just stop trolling and plays the way he's supposed to play, bro, we a playoff team outright. Like I've said it from the first game, Jalen Green leap away from being a contender. Like he is
the ceiling of the team. If Şengün is the floor, Jalen is the ceiling. Period.
Alp is the floor, and we saw that this past year.
Yep.
That was the floor of our team. Yeah, we have 40. Like he'll keep you there, but that guard,
you need Jalen to put us over the top.
You need somebody,
and if not him, somebody else.
Exactly. So yeah, that's definitely.
I want to touch on something you just said right now about Fred not being much of a rim pressure guy. Neither is Alp a lob threat. Not the same comparison exactly. I know this is probably way off, but I'm just thinking conceptually.
Okay.
The Steph and Draymond pick and roll. I know they run a different type of offense, and keep in mind when they were at their peak, they didn't even have like the greatest athletes on the floor at all times. Their best athlete was Iggy, and Iggy was old. You know what I'm saying? So if that's why I said them naked pick and rolls got to stop. We got to mix it up off the ball, off of the damn screen. That is, to me, that's the standard. Like, anyway, that's basketball. If you watch Golden State, I hate them. I'm not giving them no shout out. Screw them. If you're a Golden State Warrior fan, you watching, I don't like you, but keep watching them. But yeah, but yeah, how they play basketball is so beautiful. whatever the ball is doing is a decoy. Like they just playing with you. So whatever happening off the ball is what you got to worry about. Because Clay is about to go off for 70. We seen it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to have some more of that in the offense. But I don't want to use the Fred not being a rim pressure guy as an excuse and Alp not being a lob threat. Both of them are high enough IQ to where they can get other guys. You know, they should be able to generate a lot more offense with that play. They should be.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fred is not a Steph shooter, obviously, but at least Alp is as good a passer on that short roll as Draymond. At the very minimum.
He close. I'm a big Draymond as far as basketball. I think Draymond is that
he got
two-man
top 5
game.
IQ in the league.
Yeah, like all time. Like he to me is all time one of the best just basketball players. Like he up there, bro. Like not stats wise, just a guy that understands the science of the game, both offense and defense.
When he's on the floor, you can tell.
Yeah, he a quarterback.
You can tell.
Yeah,
Golden State does not look the same when he's not on the floor.
He is the second most important person in that dynasty.
Most def. That's why they let Clay go.
But with the Alp Jalen thing, I think, and the Fred off ball, I think we got little glimpses of it with what Jalen was doing with Jock, and Jock was pretty damn. He's a better passer than
he's solid.
I've never seen him do that because he didn't really have the opportunities in Phoenix, but he showed us that he could pass, and to me that's like a diet version of what Şengün could do. I think the only thing Jock probably do better than Alp is shooting from the perimeter, which gave the team a good look, kind of a pick and pop option, but
it's not that different though.
Yeah, I mean I think that when I think about a two-man dynamic, it's really not really whether Alp can rim run, because that's that the rim runners, you notice in the playoffs, those type of plays don't.
They get shut down.
What
else can you do when you get the ball?
Yeah, because the defense is too smart. Like that's an easy play to defend, honestly.
Even for the Rockets, shut down when we play
Prime Rockets, Prime James Harden in the playoffs, it was gonna be isolation or trying to get into some mismatch hunting, because that whole lob threat stuff was not working. Like that would work against,
it worked against Utah. It worked against Utah.
That's a schematic. I think they were stuck because of their personnel. Like they just had to do what they had to do. Your best player is like a guy that has only one style, which sucks. But with the Rockets, I think what I look at it as is with Fred and Alp, it's like their two-man game. Fred, his leverage is his shooting. Now you just pointed something out. He's not Steph. So if I'm a coach, all right, I might go under a couple times, bro. If Fred VanVleet shoots 70% from three because I went under a couple times, good luck. Tip your hat. He's not demanding like we got to trap Fred. Like they gonna play him single coverage. Yeah. Şengün, they are bringing the low defender damn near under the basket. He has his primary defender up, and there's always a guy on the side that's helping, just shaded over to try to clog up the lane. So when he does get the ball, he can't really roll, even if he wanted to. It becomes an isolation, or he's going downhill into a crowd. With Jalen as the guy running the show on that, the key for him is his shooting. He doesn't need to be Steph either. If he can just be a 36, 37% three-point shooter with his first step, it changes the way the defense can guard that pick and roll, because the guy that's shading over and the low man that you're bringing in, if you bring them in, Jalen gets to the basket, they're begging us to just hit threes. And if I'm me, man, I might put Fred or Jabari in load the corners, have Dylan in the slot, and we just gonna run that and just kill you off of that. If you're gonna give us 30 threes in that game. If you don't want to give up threes, you have to stay humble. Once again, with his first step, he's at the basket. If you want to stop him like teams were doing, selling out to trap him, that short roll, guess what? 4-on-3 with Şengün, like you pointed out, one of the best passing big men in the NBA that can see the court going downhill, Şengün is, I think, number 3 in the NBA for big men, behind like Giannis and like somebody else.
Yeah,
that is a deadly.
The other ones I think was like athletic type centers.
Yeah, it was like I forgot. I know it was Giannis, somebody than him. When he's going downhill on an attack against a big man, it's curtains. It's either gonna be a foul or a shot, like a made shot. You got 4-on-3 doing that. Now it just come down to making plays. passing, cutting. Like bro, the blueprint is there for them to really do something special. It's going to come down to those two, Jalen and Şengün, how well they play off of each other, the collective IQ on the team. How well does Jabari learn how to cut? Does Dylan learn how to cut? Fred, I'm not worried about. And then
Dylan not going to learn how to cut.
I know, right?
That
stop cut. But Amen Thompson, maybe they put a man in there. Like it's so many things, and we already know him and Şengün and Tari got good chemistry. Tari is a good cutter. There's no excuses, bro. There's no excuses. I don't want to know. Well, they're young. No more young. We ain't young.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to hear that no more.
We ain't hearing that, man. Let's go. Like it's time, man. They just need to go ahead and really show what they got to do in year 2 under Udoka.
Cool. All right, I'm finna throw a question at you like you Fred VanVleet. So, right. Fred, which of the young guys are you expecting the most out of in training camp?
The most? Honestly, it should be like Jalen Şengün, but I'm gonna let them breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as with the rest of the group,
I would expect him to lead them to alone too. That's why I say Fred.
I'll leave him alone. I'll probably say young guy Amen Thompson. I think Amen is still, like, for me, he's probably our best, like, just prospect. If you look at what a quote unquote blue chip prospect is supposed to look like. Physicality, IQ, he checks off a lot of boxes. Now, one of the most important boxes he don't check off is shooting, but you know what I mean? I still think he can be successful. I think the team is constructed in a way that it kind of mitigates some of his issues, but I think Amen is so important to us winning. Underrated thing about that stretch we had in March was he was a starter. And I think
at the 4.
And one thing you pointed out earlier, one of the key reasons they were getting stops was because of him. And then when he got the stops, dude was running.
Yes.
He ran and pushed the pace as a on the ball. And
he got the boards. He got on the
board
glass.
And ran. Don't look back. Everybody, them horses was going.
Did he average a double-double as a starter?
He was close. I think it was like 12 and 8 or 9. Like he was just, I mean, I was impressed. I think he's probably overall our best rookie year. Just on impact, like plus usage.
Yeah, I think you can say that. I mean,
I feel like because I think Jalen and Şengün, Şengün was a backup. Jalen was not great. He had that kind of second half stretch that was okay, but impact and winning.
But we was getting cooked. It didn't matter.
We was getting slutted out.
Was just getting no baby oil.
And I think impact and just trust from a coach, like Amen played winning basketball. I know Tari did too, but Tari didn't really have the usage Amen had on ball reps and all that. So I expect a lot out of him, and I think that he's going to be important for us, especially on the second unit. I'm curious to see how him and Reed Shepherd playing adjacent to each other. Hopefully they have a synergy. I want to see him be a screen setter for Reed, and just so many things you could do with him. I think he's going to be important for us. So I'm expecting a lot out of Amen Thompson.
Yeah, man, I kind of agree with you, man. But since you said Amen, I'm gonna probably, man, I want to say Reed Shepherd just because he's coming in from day one with a perfect structure. He got everything around him that he's ever needed to come into from day one. Obviously, he's not gonna start, but he's playing around, I think, the right guy in front of the right guys, I think. And I think he can play with Fred. He can play with Jalen. He can play with just about every configuration of players on the team. But I think I've seen a lot of people put him at the top of the rookie of the year chase. I don't know how possible that is, but I think his IQ though, man, I didn't realize he was that smart. And I like watching Kentucky play. I like Kentucky guards. I didn't know he was that damn smart because the way he manipulated pick and rolls in the summer league, I was like, oh, you can't really teach this. Like, how did he see that play right there? 2 plays ahead, 2 steps ahead of the defender. How did he already see that? Like, and then the shooting, and he knows how to use his shooting as a weapon. Some people can shoot, but they don't know how to use it as a weapon. Steph knows how to use his shooting as a weapon. As a matter of fact, his shooting is actually key to his handle because you got to respect all them little fakes. Reed got a little bit of that in him. He got a little bit of a bag in him. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be like a super ISO kind of guy, but I'm liking the package that he brings, man. Defensively, there's gonna be some work to do, but every point guard coming in the NBA, you're gonna have work to do on defense. I mean, that is a renegade position. Every night you got to deal with Steph. You got even if Westbrook is old, you still got to deal with him. You got to deal with Harden.
Westbrook gonna hit Burrow with the.
Oh, he gonna get one of them.
Yeah,
he gonna get one of them. He for sure gonna get one of them. They gonna target him. Westbrook gonna target him. But yeah, man, that position for, most point guards, man, when they come in the league, they kind of suffer at first. I don't think he's gonna suffer too bad because he already got it up here. Again, NBA daddy. His mama was in the his mama played college ball for Kentucky.
I think she played basketball in college.
I think she played overseas too.
I'm not sure, but I know he comes
from a basketball family.
Yeah, he comes from a basketball family,
and that means a lot.
That's a huge deal. Yep,
big time. Those guys, they just come ready made with the IQ off top, and he even credited his mom with that. So, and then the biggest part is I've already mentioned the shooting, but how the shooting opens up the offense for us. That is the biggest part that I'm looking forward to, man, because we didn't really have that. Like, there was nobody where you put this guy in the court and it's like, hey, get him. We cannot leave him open. You leave anybody the hell open on the right, except Jabari. You couldn't leave him open. But he had his nights. He had his days where he was in slumps or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to go with Reed, man.
I agree. I think that's a good point. I think just real quick on Reed, I think that I don't have him as a top rookie there just because of opportunity. I don't think he'll have the opportunity to really do it.
It's probably going to be Steph Castle.
Yeah. Just because I think it's good for him, though. I don't think he's ready to be playing 25, 30 minutes. His defense and his size is going to be a thing. So he needs to learn how to fight on the NBA level. I think that takes time, like you said, for a young guard, just to learn positioning. Same thing with Şengün. Like, he has great hands. Learn to jump, and he's already great at jumping lanes. So just learning to do that at the NBA speed, I think you got to give him a little cushion for that. But on the offensive side, one thing, his passing is impressive. I think that was something that I really didn't like. I didn't see that well in college, but it does show up on film. And I think that his IQ, I like to see him be. Hopefully, if he does get to playing time with the starters, I can see him being like a off-ball movement shooter for us, and then
we need one
just somebody you can put out there just flying off of screens. And like what you talking about, the Clay thing, like you running that Şengün Jalen pick and roll, and then Reed,
you better find Reed
screen.
Man, you put him them four on the court at the same time. I think that's gonna cause a lot of problems.
And you can really put anybody else in that fifth spot.
Even you really can. I really want to see Amen though in that fifth spot.
Amen
or Tari.
Hell, Tari. Like it's. I think he may got some tools, man. I'm excited, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This gonna be
man. That makes me. That's a good segue to this next question, man. Rotation tweaks. Let's say we're talking to Ben Sullivan. Rotation tweaks. Do you see any rotation tweaks coming up this season? How do you see the minutes distribution looking?
Let me see. Now I'm gonna give a lot of our bench players as much crap as people give them. Some they were, I'm an avid Aaron Holiday hater, but I'm gonna give
holiday season, man.
Yeah, man, I'm a hater, bro. But he actually played really good. He played way above what he was like. His role is. So I'm sure Ime's he fights on defense. Little ball hog. I'm gonna throw that out there. Do the little ball hog though. He think he's somebody.
He be thinking he Drew and he forget his name.
He the wrong Holiday, bro. Yeah. You're not Drew, brother. you're little bro. But
little bro. Littlest bro.
I think I'm curious to see that backup point guard battle because Ime doesn't seem like the guy just to cave in just because it's Reed Shepherd.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And he might be loyal to Aaron Holiday because
he might.
Aaron Holiday earned his keep. So
dude played ahead of Jalen in some games, like to close out some games.
To close out games.
So like I'm thinking that if our starter is going to be our starters, I'm watching that Dylan Brooks spot in his minutes over Tari or Amen because some of the data shows that when you replace him with Amen Thompson, the team is elite. But we'll see that. Then on the backup, that point guard, that Cam Whitmore role, like how that guard rotation with Holiday, Cam, Reed, and Amen. I'm curious to see who gets hold on the minutes. I think Amen is gonna hold his own, like regardless, because he's so dynamic. Cam, Reed,
he might get squeezed. It's very possible that Cam gets squeezed. It's very possible. I wish that don't. If that happens, that's gonna be
some people like I've seen fans post this that they think if they were to trade anybody, it'd be Cam Whitmore. Personally, I don't think you need to trade anybody because he's on a rookie contract. You don't call unless he's like
if he's a malcontent.
But I don't see that. I think you can get him minutes.
He's not beating the girl up.
Nah, he ain't. I ain't gonna throw that on little Cam, man. But I think that it's gonna be interesting to see. Honestly, I can see them just throwing Reed to like G League just to like because he's a rookie and they can do it. But as the year goes on, if he can do what I think he's gonna do and show that they need his ability like they needed with Cam with the scoring at some point, what they need with a man with the backup point guard and rebounding, then that's gonna be interesting to see. But I really don't see their rotation switching that much, except with if Steven Adams is healthy, I can see him playing backup. Him and Jock, I don't know. Jock looks good, man. Like it's so many battles.
He had a good Olympics too.
Great Olympics.
Them Aussies, man. I like Aussies, bro. They just
they be
Aussies and Kiwis. They just
them boys
they just the goods, bro. They don't have to be all flashy,
but
when they get on their court, they be balling. That's it.
They just hoop.
Just like when they get on the court.
So I'm
kind of guys.
I'm curious to see, man. That's gonna be this, but that's good for a team kind of compete.
What's his name too? Speaking of Aussies, Jack McVay.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't have no expectation for that man, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I know he's good.
He's a shooter. I watched some film on him. I'm like, we can use that, especially with AJ Griffin being gone.
That's true. That's a good point.
We don't know how that'll look. Maybe guys get nicked up here and there. Never know who he'll.
He may win us a game randomly. I think it's gonna be based on his defense, just like with Reed or anybody. With Ime, you got to prove it everywhere else except making buckets first. So I think that if he can not be a liability on court, he'll play. If not, then he's not going to play. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
I think his contract is a two-way anyway, I believe.
Yeah.
When I looked on Hoops Hype, it said two-way, but that could be wrong. Hoops Hype ain't always accurate anyway. I'm thinking we're probably going to see a lot more Jabari at the 5 this season.
Yeah, I like that look.
Especially matchup dependent. If we're not playing like a team that has a bruising backup big, man, Jabari at the 5 coming off the bench with these other guys, man, that sound brutal. Think about it. You got Reed, Cam, Amin, Tari, and Jabari just flying up and down the court, creating all kind of chaos, turnovers. Like that to me sounds like if I'm on the other team, I'm like, God damn, man, who do you guard? What are you supposed to do?
You gotta hoop. You gotta hoop.
What do you can't make no mistakes on offense. You pass the ball the wrong way. All that wingspan between Jabari, Tari, and Amin, bro, all they gotta do is this. Just do a little eagle, you know what I'm saying? And you can't pass the ball because you're playing with fire if you're doing that.
That's gonna be seeing them three played it with each other like at this level is something that I'm really excited to see.
Man, that trio to me, I think is probably gonna win us a few games. It's gonna look really good. The analytics on that is gonna look good. They complement each other. Amin can feed everybody, or if he's playing off the ball, he can run pick and roll with Reed. I'm glad that he has the IQ and the openness to actually play a different position. That's big. Tari, we're always better when Tari's playing.
Yeah.
Bar none. Jabari, he looked bigger, he looked stronger. We're gonna see how that translates on the court, but I believe in him. I'm like Space Ghost. We both Jabari guys. I like that he's an a-hole. I like that he wanted. He beats himself up when he has a bad game. To me, that's the mark right there. That dude right there, he's telling you that he wanted really bad, and when he clicks, it's gonna be curtains. I think it's gonna click for him a little bit later when he gets his body right, like when he's 25.
I think
his daddy got some shoulders.
Yep, and he do too. He got the frame for it. I think he's young. It's like certain positions you got to let him marinate a little bit. Big man is not like a guard. To me, it's kind of like lineman in the NFL or in football. Like that's a grown man's position, bro. Like you can come in young as a receiver, as a guard. You can come in as a running back, as a forward or a wing, and really impact the game. But trenches with the big dogs. We seen what guys like Dwayne Dedmon was doing to Şengün and all these strong Africans.
These randoms. Biyombo.
Yeah,
woo! Biyombo.
But that's grown man. Like these are kids, man. These are grown.
That's true.
These are grown men, and Jabari's in that boat where he gets pushed off his spot. So I think as his body matures, like all the stuff, obviously for him shooting on offense too. But I'm with you. I think if he can really be serviceable as a 5 and be strong enough to hold his own in the block and on rebounding, which we saw flashes of.
Which is the biggest part. I think it's the rebounding necessarily.
It's the rebounding.
Yeah, it's the rebounding.
His best games, dude was damn near getting 20 rebounds, man.
Yeah.
There was a stretch. Remember that like 5-game stretch? He was getting like 15 rebounds.
His ass off.
So I think that's really what it come down to. But yeah, that 3-man trio with anybody, any other two out there, is to me, I'm intrigued by.
Yeah, big time. It sounds like we really gonna be versatile this season. It sounds like that to you? Like we have a lot more ways to play than we did before. Before we were a little bit more conventional, but now it seems like, especially with the addition of Reed Shepherd and that shooting element, and then Tari coming back with his defensive versatility, seemed like we'll be able to play a lot more different ways this coming season. You feeling the same thing?
I think it showed when Sengun got hurt. The blessing in disguise for that was that you got to see a different version of the team.
Yeah.
And some people's natural reaction was that, let's throw. No, because like if you understand basketball, what we were playing with Sengun, like you said, it got us to a baseline, but teams were starting to really figure out our offense, and it was getting hard. We were winning games, but it was really hard. Then what we showed post All-Star break shocked a lot of teams, and when they adjusted, we started losing again. Yeah. When you combine the two, basically you have two different teams you could play with. And for the NBA on a night-to-night basis on a regular season, that's really hard for teams to prepare for. So just like we saw with the Tuck Wagon when we had PJ Tuck out here, or the death lineup with the Warriors, you come out in the third quarter with a 5-man team with like Jabari at the 5, or you go into your bench and you got Jabari, move Jabari to 5, bring this guy in. Teams don't really adjust to that. You can really win a lot of games just by switching it up and having a different look that they don't have time to game plan for. So I'm with you. I think that not only should we lean into our versatility, that should be one of our strengths this year, because what Tillman said during the thing with the practice facility, we are a pretty deep team. I don't think we're the deepest team in the NBA just because we have names and bodies don't mean we're deep. I think there are teams that have more veteran players that you could trust in playoffs. But as far as talent, as far as talent, we're a pretty deep team when it comes to NBA talent. So they should lean into that.
We got a lot of raw talent too. That's the thing. Like if we realize 75% of that talent, we gonna be a problem for a lot of teams. Because a lot of these dudes just out there just going to hoop and they don't know what the hell they doing.
That is true.
These boys out there just clueless. They just know they got to shape it up when he may call you to the bench. Hey, son, you keep playing with me, I'm going to call your girlfriend. You don't want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? But what's your take on that new practice facility, man? I don't know if you saw all the pictures in the video.
Yeah, long overdue, man. They've been promising that. This is 90, man. They've been saying they're going to build that thing out for my whole life. So it was good to see they finally got around to it. I think it's good for the team. It's good for the players when we have, obviously I know it's not like college where the NBA players care about facilities, but I think some guys do. Some players may look at in free agency, they got nice facilities. You look at some of the Warriors and stuff, if you go on a visit as a free agent, to me that stuff matters, man. I like going somewhere where it looked like something. And man, some of the previous offseason we've seen, I remember Jabari and Tari had to share lockers, bro. Come on, bro. In the NBA, bro.
Bruh, I didn't even know that.
They were lockers their rookie summer, bro. Come on, what are we doing? I was like, hell no, we got to fix this. But you remember that, bro? Them boys were sharing lockers, bro.
I think it's coming back to me, dog.
They were sharing lockers, bro. They were sharing lockers. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on, but they were sharing
high
lockers.
School football.
High school.
So, oh my God.
I love it. I think it looks as a good look, and hopefully the players play better just because you look good, you feel good, you play good. So
you're telling me that we need more than an iPad to attract free agents? That's what you telling me?
Hey, can you imagine you a free agent? Not PJ. What's the name? Pull up, take you down, fly you down. You land in Houston, hop down. You take you by a little car, pick you up, take you down to a state of the art. You feel like you somebody, bro. You somewhere.
You feel important. Yeah, that does.
It look good.
It means a lot, especially in business. It's a business. It's a business transaction,
thing, bro.
It's a business meeting. You want to impress your client.
Yeah.
This is a free agent. You want to bring this person into your facility. You know what I'm saying? You want them to come and be like, man, I would really be. I can see myself here long term. You know, even if it's short term, I can see myself here at some point. I want to be here.
People value that, man.
Yeah, exactly.
People value that. Like that stuff matters. Like any job, you go to a building that you're supposed to work in at, if it looks state of the art, digital this panels, like it look nice. You make you feel like, yeah, I'd like to work. There's a little pride. So I think it's good for the Rockets. And shout out to Tillman. I know a lot of us, including me, I'm still skeptical of him as a owner. But so far so good, man. He's really stayed out the way, and he's really just put his money where his mouth is. We gonna see when we get to like contention, when we'll see what he do then. But as of right now, he's been hitting it out the park.
Oh, most def. I gotta say too, man, Tillman and Rafael Stone, I think they've both grown. They've come a long way from that first couple seasons, first like 3 seasons, especially Tillman. Tillman used to always be on TV, running his mouth, giving us bad PR, thinking all PR is good PR. No, I don't think so. Not in the NBA. It's a different league. And then Stone, it seemed like Rafael Stone became, I want to say, a top 15 GM now since Ime came in. I think they got a good balance going on.
I agree.
Stone is able to just be a GM, focus on relationships and stuff with the agents and all that, free agents and all that. And Ime can be a coach, and Ime can be like, hey, man, I want this. I want more of this, less of this. Can you do this for me? You better not show up at my practice talking about you trying to help me. Stuff like that.
He'd never do that with
He would not do that, boy.
He might get socked, bro. Like, that's not even, I think, but that just tells you how like bad. And I got a theory with that. I think that there's some people, bro, if you let them do their job, bro, just their job, they're excellent. Mm-hmm. If you give them too much to do, they start suffering in other areas. And I think for Stone, he's been around the Rockets so long because of his ability to structure contracts and negotiate those contracts and all those things and do that part of the business. But as far as it comes to maybe like basketball stuff, maybe not his strong suit. So having a basketball guy in the building with you that you can share and bounce things off of, and you can get feedback from a basketball level from a guy that's been around the greatest coach ever, been around championships, is a great coach himself, and then you have that respect, that reciprocal respect. He can focus and do his job and then really trust Ime. I think that's really allowed Rafael to be the best version of himself because he can just do what he do. Get these contracts done.
Keyword you said, trust. I think they both have a trust in each other and a mutual respect for each other to not step on each other's toes. Yeah. And I think it's working. And it seemed like Stone is comfortable going to Ime and asking his input on certain things. And I feel like, Ime may, reciprocate the same back with Stone. So it looks like it's a successful relationship, at least for the year so far.
For the year.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, bro, they're all going to be judged on expectations as the team goes forward. Expectations change. So whatever the expectations were last year are not this year's. And so I think so far up to this point, they've met the expectations. I would even say in some aspects they've superseded them. But we will see because we're getting into the point in this life cycle for the Rockets with this team where if they have a bad season, if they finish below 500, man, that would be
somebody gotta go somewhere. I don't know where they're going.
That's how quickly the league can change. So, but I think right now, training camp, honeymoon, everybody is hopes and expectations. Every team in the league think they're going.
Everybody feel like they're going to win the championship at this point right now, man. Hell, even Charlotte, Wizards feel like they're gonna win some. Pistons feel like they're gonna win some. Nah, y'all feel some. But now, what's you? I guess final thing, man. How do you see the season ending? Like, we gonna make the playoffs? We'll see who we're gonna be. We're gonna get out the first round. We're gonna upset somebody. Or we're gonna be a top seed. Like, what do you see that looking like?
I think that we still have steps we gotta take. Mm-hmm. Now we've seen teams just jump up, but I still think if we had made the play-in last year and even if we lost, I would have said that we probably go into the second round this year. But we haven't tasted that atmosphere yet. So I think the goal for the team this year is to get into that atmosphere. I would even venture to say that a play-in is not enough, but because they didn't make it last year, I'm gonna just reset my goals. They have to make a play-in tournament. and be able to hopefully win. That'll be ideal and get into it. If they lose in the first round, that's cool. But the way I see young guys progress, usually, and 99% of the time, young teams or teams that are trying to become contenders, you got to take your licks and then come back. We haven't gotten to the taking the licks part yet. And the longer we stay out, the less likely we're going to be a contender. So this year, they got to do it. Everybody want to compare, say, well, look at this team, they rebuild. Go look at them teams, man. It was playoffs, loss, playoffs, loss, playoffs, loss, playoffs, loss, 5, 6, championship. So we just got to get in that expectation mode where it's like, once you make the playoffs as a team, anything less than that is an abject failure. And we need to get to that mental state.
It won't even feel like it makes sense. I'm like, why are we less than we were a season before?
Exactly.
What?
So I think I think I had us on the video. I made about 46 wins, 45 wins. I think the West there's going to be a bunch of teams bunched up around that. Last year, 46 wins was the Lakers, and I think they were the 8th seed. I think roughly
47.
Right?
It was at 47.
47, 8th seed. So we could theoretically be an 8th seed, 9th seed, and still have 3 or 4 more wins than we did last year. And to me, that's okay as long as we're in that playoff bracket. I think like 47 wins you could be this year, in my opinion, you could be anywhere from 5 to 9, bro, in the standings. Because I feel like there's gonna be a bunch of teams just right there. So if we in the mix, good season, 46, 47 wins. I think we play better as a team. I think we get better as a team. Might not show up in the win column as much, but I think if you take last year's team in this Western Conference, we probably be below 500. But I think if you take this team, what we're expecting, we're 3 or 4 games better. So I think that's a big swing in my opinion. So I'm expecting a good season, man. I ain't gonna lie. I really do expect them to look like a team that's heading to becoming a contender.
There are some teams that I feel like, I think in the whole Western Conference, I think a lot of it is going to come down to matchups. There are some teams that I feel like we match up really well up against right now. One of them, the Nuggets. We was 3-1 against them last year. Yeah, 3-1 against them. We swept Sacramento. We went 2-2 with Oklahoma City. Shea missed one of the games, but the other game.
Did we go 3-1 versus Phoenix? Or
I can't remember what we was versus Phoenix.
2-1. I think we played them pretty good too.
Yeah, we definitely a problem for them. We've been in a lot of those Mavericks games, but
New Orleans.
We match up well with them, and they don't have Jonas Valanciunas no more.
Yeah, that was the
problem
big
for
one.
man.
Well, Shango gave him business early.
Yeah, he gave him business too, but I don't know what it is about them two. I don't know what beef they got. I don't know who took whose girl,
it's
bro.
Some European stuff we don't know about. Some European stuff we don't know about.
For real, man. I don't know. Maybe is it what Jonas Valanciunas from again? Lithuania?
Yeah, I think he's Lithuanian. I don't know what it is.
They got some kind of rivalry or something.
I don't know, but it do seem like it do seem like them boys they got something with each other. It might be something like they got something, but
yeah, there's something personal going on with them, man. I feel like we do match up well with them. Clippers, they without Kawhi.
Yeah.
Even though they swept us last season. And then
I'm worried about
because we was close in all of them games and we just fell at the end because they got close.
The James Harden factor for me is always going to be a problem with our team because I think the reason teams like Clippers, Warriors, to me, the teams that have elite IQ are they're going to have an edge on us just because of. And I'm going to say the matchups with the Nuggets and stuff, it's hard to tell because we haven't played them in that context of the playoffs with in-game adjustments. They're so smart. And I think you only learn that just like I said, getting in the battle. If we met the Nuggets in round 1, it went 5 or 6. To me, that's great, bro, because you get a lot of experience and you can see like, damn, okay, that's how the speed is. Okay, so this where the game 2, game 3 adjustments. It just gets you like, you know what to work on for the off season, where exactly you need to push yourself to go. So I think it's really just got to get in and see, bro. But yeah, I'm with you. I think we're due for a good season, bro. I just know it.
I'm really looking forward to it, man. Is there like a couple of teams that you really want to see us play against, though? Like really,
like measuring stick?
Yeah, there's measuring stick. I got one team for sure is is the Warriors because we ain't beat them since since the bubble.
Man, I have no clue why we struggle. I think, like schematically, we should beat them. I think they just
schematically is where we lose.
Well, you look at it like the style they play, even though it is hard for us because the motion, because the cutting, and that's our weakness of all the defensive play styles. We struggle cutting. I just feel like we have better overall talent, but they just so damn smart. For me, it's Minnesota, bro.
Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, that was my other one.
Dominated us terribly, bro. Like they just be like dogging us. Team, like, they just make us look bad, bro. They bigger than us, faster, stronger. It's like Alabama playing like TSU. Be looking. So I think it's if we can look like real big boys against Minnesota, that's saying something to me, bro. Because that to me, that's the Debo for the Rockets right now is Minnesota.
I think with our plus minus, I think we should have won like 46 games or something like that with our plus minus, and we lost a lot. We left a lot of close games on the table.
Don't know how to close. We don't know how to. We were young. Don't know how to close out games. Don't let the rope go a couple of games late. Don't know hierarchy in the clutch moments. CTE from Fred VanVleet.
Not keeping poise.
Yeah. So just growing pains.
Yeah, growing pains. But it's like when you was a teenager, you hit that growth spurt, your knees hurt. Man, this sucks. Like
if it click, bro. If it click though, them losses start turning to dubs, and that's where you get them 3, 4, 5 extra wins from. If they learn, so I feel like I have a good feeling about this year. I just feel like this is the year for the Rockets, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to how we come out the gate from the beginning, because last year that 0-3, I don't want to see that again. Sure, we went 6-3, but then we started losing. It was a game of streaks. Like we'll win a couple in a row, lose a couple in a row. I ain't trying to see all that. Now let's get 5 in the bag. Probably one little schedule loss, one little hiccup here or there. Get 6 in a row, a couple losses. All right, another 7 in a row. Let's build on these win streaks, man. Like I'm not trying to have to go 11 straight games just to get back in the playoff picture, man. Let's not do that. Let's be in the playoff picture the whole time, and let's put pressure on these top seeds, and let's put some fear in anybody's hearts in the playoff. Like, hey, man, we're not trying to play them Rocket boys because we might take this L. They might put us. They might embarrass us. That's where we're trying to be. That's where we're trying to go, man. But I think that's all I got. If you got anything else you want to touch on?
Nah, man. Appreciate you for having me, bro. I really enjoyed this.
Appreciate your time, man. Tell everybody where they can find you.
On the Rockets Chop Shop. You guys can check, like I said, next week, season kickoff, with the media stuff. So we'll be dropping more content, and follow me on Twitter at ftank58. Talking Rockets, football, politics, everything, bro. I'll be all over the damn place. But yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Already, man. This has been another episode of the Shootin' Ish podcast. This is the Rockets Propaganda Channel. I am your man's AK Infinity. Follow me on Twitter at AK Infinity _VVS. And we out. Yeah.